See, I don't do the whole Instagram cute posy faces very well. I can give you some very disgusted raven faces if you'd like, but I don't do cute Instagram very well. But what's up? So this tutorial is just honestly going to be how to achieve the look that I do when I cosplay Raven from Teen Titans. I've worn her twice, once at Otakon last August or July, whenever it was, and then in MagFest in I was about to say September, geez. It was a hit both times. I cosplayed her with my husband cosplaying as Beast Boy, and one of the things I actually got asked a lot on my cosplay Facebook is, or when I share the images, are like what I use or how I do it and blah, 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 blah. And I have filmed this video 3 times since my initial run through was her last summer, and it's never worked out. And here we are, full video in tow. So, oh yeah, you'll see my bare hands because this was just a face test. This was not a full body anything. Like, I'm about to take this off and hop in the shower. So this is how I do Raven. Like, would Raven wear this much makeup? Probably not, but for my interpretation, or well, at least going off of the eyes, I mean, her skin is about this color, and I do add some contour and highlight for the sake of giving a little bit of depth so the face paint doesn't look flat. So this is just my interpretation of how she would look. So, and if you enjoy that, then keep on watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so first we're going to be taking the Ace Beaute Paradise Fallen palette, and from this we'll be using the shades Dusk, Eve, Shadow, Moonglow, and Blackout. We'll also be using the Sugarpill pigments in Tiara as well as Lumi, and for a base for the eyeshadow, the Anastasia lip palette. Now I only use this for my eyes, I never put it on my lips. I'm just using the shade White though, so if you have the NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk, it'll work just as well. I just think these grip the shadows a little bit better. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Dusk from that Ace Beaute palette on a nice fluffy brush and applying that just above my crease to use as a transition color for our lovely eye look today. After that, I'm going to be taking the shade E, which is more like a grape kind of purple, on a much denser, we'll say tapered crease brush. And just taking that on my outer corner and into my crease and just blending out accordingly so we don't really have any harsh lines there. And then next up is going to come that shade Moonglow. Now my brush is damp when I'm going to apply it, just because I am going to use that to carve out some color. Or will carve out my orbit a little bit because my eyes are small and I do want the color to appear above my lid to make it look like I have more lid space. So just a tip if you've got small lids like I do. And feel free to play around with the placement of things too if you need to work around it for your eye shape. This color is just going to be Shadow, working that on my outer corner and a little bit into my crease, but not by too much. And after that, I'm taking the shade Tiara from Sugarpill. I'm just patting that over top of where I put that Moonglow to give it an extra pop of things. Afterwards, I'm going to take the color Blackout on a very small brush. From my lash line, I just kind of blend that on up, just to give it a little bit more depth there. Then I'm going to take Lumi and apply that into my inner corner, and then go ahead and just line my eyes with some liquid liner. This one is Black Cat from Winky Lux. It's my current favorite liquid liner. At least that's readily available. And the shade Zero and Urban Decay for waterlining and tight lighting, as well as the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara to use on my eyeballs. Alright, so next we're going to take Graveyard Gray. And we're going to be using White Swan for the face portion. And we're going to keep that Ace Beaute palette out because we are going to use it to do some detail work on the face a little bit later on. I'm taking the Graveyard Gray on a Real Techniques body sponge. Now I will say it is personal preference as to if you use a sponge or a brush or whatever. For this first layer here, I am applying it with a sponge. But on my second and third layers, I do use brushes afterwards. And honestly, just no rhyme or reason to it. That's just how I like to do it. And do I do that all the time? No. I'm not very consistent with how I apply face paint, unfortunately. I probably should develop a method that I like and keep it going. But I normally apply about 3 layers of the face paint. So first layer with a sponge, give it a second and let it dry, or take a hand fan, fan yourself, take a blow dryer on low, blow dry your face, and just go from there. Then apply the second layer and the third layer accordingly. Now, you just want to make sure that everything is as even as possible, because the less patchy things are as you go through, the better your life will be towards the end. Because if it's patchy when you get to the third layer from layer 1 and you're trying to fill in holes, it just does not work. It does not work well. I've lived that life. I've tried. Now this is the second layer, and I'm only showing you guys this because I want you to see how I'm applying the brush strokes. This is a dense brush. I normally don't use this for body paint, but heck, I couldn't find the brush I normally use. Now you'll notice that I'm kind of moving in all sorts of directions with the brush, circular motions, back and forth, up and down. That's so that you don't have any random brush strokes when you're painting, because the last thing you want that to do is pop up in your photos. And it's like, oh, what does she got on her face there? What does he have on his face there? What do they have on their face? Oh, brush lines. That nobody wants that. So all sorts of motions, and I'm doing the same thing as I'm going around down my neck. Now, don't forget, if you're going to a con or a party or whatever, get your ears and get the back of your neck, or have someone get the back of your neck. Like, I'm not doing my ears because, again, this was meant to be temporary, and I just was doing this for this video. And washing your ears with washing paint out of your ears is difficult. So this is where the white swan comes in. I'm using it to highlight with, so I'm taking it down the bridge of my nose and the center of my forehead and under my eyes, and that's just to bring some depth to the paint so it doesn't look like it's one flat color. Because you'll see a lot of times with face paint that a lot of people will just do one color and one layer, and it's like, what's going on? Something looks off. And not all the time, but the face has dimension to it, and the goal is to build that dimension back up even with face paint. So I am taking this swan white under my eyes. I did put some on my chin, and I did put some under my nose. And again, in the center of my face where I would normally put the highlight at if I was applying foundation. Now, to blend this out, because they're, water activated paints, I am taking that graveyard gray and just kind of blending it over top of where the swan white is, just to make sure everything looks, seamless and coherent. Afterwards, I'm taking the Mehron setting powder. I'm setting my neck. I'm setting my face. And some people will take, eyeshadows and set with, which you can, but I prefer actual setting powder. Next, I'm going to take the shades Stone and Pure from that Ace Beaute palette. And I'm actually going to use those to contour with, because they make perfect contour colors for the shaded face paint. Now, I am going to go ahead and admit that I did have a mess up on the other side of my face. It is a little brown because I did not realize that my brush was still dirty, so whoopsie me. I'm going to take that color Tiara from Sugarpill and Moon Glow from the palette and just use those to highlight with, getting my cheeks, my lip, the tip of my nose, anywhere that I want to highlight. And I'm taking Pure, and I'm kind of using it as a cleanup color, just to put more gray areas where I might have applied too much eyeshadow, too much contour, that kind of thing. So just using it to clean up with. Now, this color is actually called Pagan, I believe. Or am I wrong? This color is called Vain from Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics. And the only reason I'm putting this on is because the color I normally use is called Techno Pagan. And it's this purple and blue color. It's gorgeous, but Greg accidentally threw it away. So I'm trying to improvise here by using Vain, which is a blue, and putting on Purgatory from Black Moon Cosmetics over top of it and seeing if I at least get a similar effect. I like I like Techno Pagan, the original color, because it matched the color of the wig pretty closely, because a lot of the purples that I have are very purple. And I was like, well, don't you want purple? I'm like, no, I need something closer to the hair color, at least to me, because that looks right. Like a bright purple lip with this doesn't go right, not in my mind anyway. But do what you feel like you want to do. Do what you feel like you want to do. And I'm real particular about my lips, so I'm sorry about how long this takes. Now, I do also use this palette for brows. I'm taking the shade Shadow, and I've used to do my brows with for this look. I know some people will do the color blocking method with the glue. I don't, because I'm lazy. I'm like, I'm already doing all this. I don't want to. Now, if a cosplay ever comes that requires, like if I do Starfire because of how her brows are and how distinct they are to her character, I probably will do that method. But for this, I just take the dark purple and I put it over top of my brows. And sometimes I will also just use liquid lipstick for my brows. Like when I do Poison Ivy, I take, I believe, Red Rose from Lime Crime. And I will use that to color my brows in. And it works just fine because it's so pigmented. It actually colors over my hair despite how dark it is.
One thing I did forget is I did go back in and do a little bit more color to blend out the shadow and the into the brows almost. Or brow bone highlight shade. I use Pure and I use Moon Glow for that on both brows just to get a little bit of glow going on under there. Complete the sultriness of it all. I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face Setting Spray and just spray my face with it. Normally I use the Mehron Barrier Spray, but I'm out. So this is going to have to do. And then I'm going to apply some lashes. These are honestly just from AliExpress. It was like 7 pairs for like $2, and they're really pretty, so I enjoy them. And it looks like I'm struggling here. I'm sorry. Yeah, the camera cut off before I could do my other one. So here we go.
Alright guys, so here everything is finished. I realized I had a very sudden cutaway, my camera cut off. But so yeah, this is the completed look. So, but I think this worked out pretty well, personally. Oh, and then this whole mishap here, but we're gonna ignore that because I didn't realize my brush was still dirty before I dipped my colors. That's the problem with black bristles. But this is everything. If you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have suggestions about characters that I should do, or comments, concerns, complaints, I don't know, then, I don't know, feel free to drop them down below in the comment section, or shoot me something on Instagram, or shoot me something on Facebook. Next, I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to say names as to who I would do because I don't know. Oh, and as another random side note, because I don't think I mentioned it at all in the video whatsoever, for the gym, normally I use spirit gum to apply it because I think my camera cut off at this part. Normally I will use spirit gum to apply the gym, but because, like I said, I'm about to take this off and get in the shower, I just used eyelash glue. Do I recommend it for everything? No, but did it work in this instance because this was quick? Yes, but spirit gum will last you a convention day out in 90-degree heat in a fake leather outfit or whatever the heck that material is, and a cape, and not have you sweating your gym off. So that's all I've really got this time. So until next time, later YouTube.